beautiful column written by Bill Plaschke on the passing of Vin Scully. And that show was meant to be a celebration a couple of days ago, because it should be, because he went out on his own terms. To be able to work till you're 88, he was 94 when he passed away. Nobody said a bad word ever about Vin Scully. What a wonderful person. And I thought Bill Plaschke captured the life and times of Vin and what he meant to the city of Los Angeles. Also, a lot of people responded to Bryan Cranston, the great actor, who said, I just need an outlet. I'm shooting a show in New Orleans. I can't come on the show, but I want to write something. And he wrote something really lovely about what Vin Scully meant to him. And so many people in Los Angeles had similar feelings about what Vin meant to him. And I mentioned those in Los Angeles are spoiled with all the great voices you had, and you had them for decades. Bill Plaschke joining us, Around the Horn contributor and, of course, columnist for the LA Times. That's one of those, I'm guessing, where you go, how do I capture this and do it in a column? I mean, it's more of it feels like a 30 for 30, Vin Scully, and you're trying to capture him in a column. How challenging was that?
Yeah, it was so difficult, Dan. He's been so much part of my life and part of all of our lives. How do you describe the soundtrack of your summer? How do you describe the wallpaper in your living room and on a summer night? How do you describe the all the millions of words that he was our muse, and how do you capture that? And I think the thing that made him so different is that he was so, I don't want to say different, but made him so unique, was that he was so kind and so gentle. And so, this is a man, he called his own bobblehead night and never said it was his bobblehead night. Imagine that. Called the whole game, never once said it was his bobblehead night. Would never do a book. I begged him to do a book with me. Would never write a book. How many people of his stature have not written books? He said, I don't think I'm that interesting, Bill. He wouldn't come back on once he retired in 2016. He wouldn't come back on and do any World Series innings when the Dodgers were in him. He said, "No, that's my place is gone. And I'm just going to get in the way." He always thought he was just going to get in the way. And and then of course the crowning achievement out here, which was amazing to everybody, was when his final game at Dodger Stadium that he broadcast. He ended it by singing "Wind Beneath My Wings" to the fans. And it was the only misguided gesture of his career, because we should have been singing it to him. Yeah. But that's how he felt. He felt like the fans were the ones who lifted him and carried him through all this. And his appreciation was never lost.
And if you had a style like that now, nobody's going to hire you, right?
Yeah, because for one thing, he wasn't a homer. He never, this is a little secret about Vin. He never really went to the clubhouse, and the players admired him, but didn't really like him for a long time because he was critical of them. He wasn't there. He called the game right down the middle, and he told stories. So he wouldn't really call the game. He'd tell the stories. He used to tell me God invented the foul ball for him, because every foul ball meant the story could continue. And you would cheer for you right there, and you'd be listening to Vinny tell a story, and you'd be cheering for the foul ball. And stories like, I remember the one that I think it was the Diamondbacks brought in an outfielder, Socrates Brito, and I thought, oh God, here we go, let's go, Vinny. And for 6 innings, we learned all about Socrates, and foul ball after foul ball after foul ball, and God made the foul ball for Vinny.
The Matthew Stafford elbow procedure now feels like it's more than just a procedure, and then Sean McVay kind of echoed that. Is this a big deal?
Yeah, this procedure has implanted a little bit of fear into all of Rams Nation. Yeah, defending Super Bowl champion, the quarterback's got a bad elbow. That's a big deal. It's a big deal because he's never dealt with this before at this level. It's a big deal because McVay's never coached a quarterback before at this level. So it's almost like the blind leading the blind. They're having a tough time trying to figure out how to get this under control. He threw a ball 50 yards yesterday. It looked great. That's one pass in practice.
Yeah.
What happens with the regular, rigor of the NFL season? This is definitely an issue. This is a big issue that bears watching, because I think the Rams just really don't know. They don't know what they're going to get. They don't know if they're gonna, is it going to be on a pitch count. I mean, is he going to be restrained? Is he going to be ready? They don't know. And without Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay's offense, I mean, they don't win. I mean, the season's over with. So it's a big deal.
How much confidence do they have in John Wolford?
I love John Wolford, and I pushed for him to replace Jared Goff back then. But Wolford can carry out the offense. He can run the plays, but he can't throw the deep ball, and he can't make the big wow play, and he can't save them like Stafford saved them. So no, they confidence. They're a 500 team at best with Wolford in there, and they're barely a playoff team if at all. It's just a quarterback driven team. It's a quarterback coach. That's the reason they went and got Stafford to win a Super Bowl. To not get him, you don't win a Super Bowl.
Rams made moves in the offseason knowing they're not going to have OBJ, but is there still a chance OBJ could end up on this roster later in the season?
As a brilliant columnist who wrote that they should never have signed OBJ, and he was terrible for the team. That was one of my more regretful moments of the last season. I'm all in. Oh, come on, OBJ, please come. You'll be great. I'll support it. I'm leading the OBJ bandwagon. Yeah, this feels like OBJ seemed to like it, except for me. He seemed to like it out here. He seemed to like everybody out here. So I think it's a very strong. I mean, you got to think they're looking at all angles now. They're trying to figure out how to mitigate this, because this is a deal.
He's Bill Plaschke, LA Times columnist, contributor to Around the Horn. Does LeBron feel like he's on the clock here with this contract extension with the Lakers?
Not really. I mean, he's gonna end his career here. The Lakers are going to take care of him. He's just waiting to see. He'll sign at least a 1-year deal, probably with an option to see where Bronny's going to go. He wants to play with Bronny. The Lakers, they want him around. They like him. I think they should trade him. I think they should offer him nothing and get rid of him and start from scratch, because they're not going to win. But they're in love with his star power. They're in love with him breaking the record of Kareem's record next year. And they would be the one team, Hollywood, that would go out of their way to make sure he and Bronny play together. And that's 3 years down the road. So this is all leading to that. So he'll get what he wants. They
what
like
could
him.
You get for him, Bill, if they tried to trade him?
I would think whoever's going to get him this year would be instant championship contenders while he's still healthy. I mean, you can get a couple of frontline players and some draft capital. I would think. I would think, because he's guaranteeing you a trip deep in the playoffs if he has the right surrounding cast. I think. I mean, he was great last year.
But who's going to pony up for him that they won't decimate their roster where they would be competing for a championship?
Yeah, I don't know. I've given up hope. I banged the trade LeBron drum for 6 months now. I've got no takers, so I don't. I've given up hope. I can't tell you, but I got to think there's somebody out there that he would come right in and step right in there, and maybe just draft. Maybe they just need draft picks for him.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Will he go? With this player and power money, he might just say, I'm not going.
Well, I think at this point they want to keep him around to break the record.
Yeah. So
that's a big deal. So and then maybe go next year. But I just don't see this trying to acquiesce to him to make sure he plays with Bronny. That's what this extension is all about, because he's already guaranteed to break the record in front of fans here. It's about the next couple of years and whether he stays, and it's about Bronny. And I just don't think you tailor your organization around the needs of a kid who's a senior in high school right now.
Well, you go back to Kobe, and it felt like they weren't going to win. They knew they weren't going to win, but they wanted to give you something to show up to see. Therefore, they kept Kobe.
Yes. And I've told Jeannie this before. I criticized that move when it happened, but I reneged. I went back on that. That was a brilliant move because it gave us a 60-point game. It gave us the game against Utah. It gave us the goodbye. And that was worth the $48 million they gave Kobe the last 2 years of his contract.
Wow. LeBron
doesn't have that connection here.
Yeah.
I don't think people are even that excited he's going to break Kareem's record. I think as many people are cheering for Kareem as cheering for LeBron. I really think so, Dan. So he I think they're talking about giving a Kobe contract to a guy who doesn't have the Kobe magnetism or the Kobe connection that Kobe had here.
And it feels like you can't go a day without Russell Westbrook being sent somewhere.
He's not going. I mean, I think they've given up on that. I think he's not going anywhere, and they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it as palatable as they can for him.
But I think if Darvin Ham ask him to be Andre Iguodala, like use that as, I know that Russ thinks he's better than what he is, but if you say, look, you can play another 5 years in the NBA if you kind of model yourself after that person who was a great scorer, made a lot of money, was a big deal, and became a role player, and ask Russ to do that. If not, he might not be in the NBA after this contract.
Oh, I agree. But you think he's going to listen to Darvin Ham? He didn't listen to Frank Vogel. He didn't listen to him. He's been through 4 coaches in 4 years. Yeah. He didn't listen to anybody. But yes, he'd be great. Iguodala was a great locker room guy. Russ is a divisive locker room guy. I mean, I can't imagine Laker Media Day. That's going to be bigger than a World Series. That's going to be bigger than the opening of the football season with the Rams and Bills. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis and LeBron James at Laker Media Day. That's our Super Bowl right now.
How nervous do you think the Dodgers are with what the Padres did?
They're nervous about what Clayton Kershaw did. They were very nervous about his back. Leaving with the back yesterday. And I told him, Dan, you got to get a starting pitcher. You need starting pitching help at the trade deadline. They didn't do it. They didn't get it. And now they're in trouble. Because Clayton's with his back issues. He's probably out at least a month. They may not get him back full strength for the postseason. They have Julio Urias as their one bona fide starter that's healthy and ready to go. They could be hurt. And it comes to short seasons in October, they could be really hurting. They're really worried about Clayton. That worries them more than the Padres. I think the Padres think they're still a year away from actually challenging the Dodgers, but they're worried to death about Clayton Kershaw right now.
The Angels sort of put it out there with Shohei Ohtani. Let's just get the room temperature here. Let's look a couple of years down the road. Is Shohei Ohtani's next contract with the Angels?
I believe it is. I believe otherwise, Marino just got to sell the team. If he gets rid of this guy, remember what happened to the last team that traded Babe Ruth? They didn't win for 85 years. You don't trade Shohei Ohtani. You just don't do it. You build around him. You figure it out.
Well, they traded Juan Soto, so
you make better decisions. You make better decisions. No, but Shohei's different. Shohei's twice the player Soto is. I mean, literally twice the player Soto is. You don't trade Shohei Ohtani. That would be death to everything that the Angels stood for. And it would mean Artie would probably sell the team. He'd probably have to get up a team before he sold. So you just cannot trade that kind of asset.
Is there any chance that UCLA is not allowed to leave to go to the Pac-12? I know USC is a private institution, but the governor has talked about, maybe, he wants answers here with UCLA leaving to go to the Pac-12.
No, he's just stamping his feet, trying to get some public notice, trying to get some attention. They're going. UCLA's going. UCLA was going the minute USC said, "Hey guys, you want to come along with us?" Although UCLA will tell you they were leading that train. No, Dan. They got a call in the middle of the night. Hey, we're going to Big Ten. You want in? Sure. Okay, we're in. And that's how that went. They're definitely going. And if for no other reason, then as UCLA explained it, of all the TV money will pay for all their Olympic sports. All these non-revenue sports that could have gotten cut out. Yeah, they're all being paid for now at UCLA, and so that's huge for them. There's no way any provost or any trustee is going to go vote against that. It doesn't even come to a vote. It's just a bunch of hand wringing and braying to the sky.
Good to talk to you again, Bill, and thanks for the column on Vin, and have a good weekend.
Thanks. Yes, it's been a long, tough week out here, but you got the Padres in town this weekend. Celebration of life for Vin. It should be a great Friday night at Chavez Ravine. If you can handle the traffic in the bathroom.
Thank you, Bill. Bill Plaschke, LA Times sports columnist and contributor to ESPN's Around the Horn.